Hello and good evening for once. Um, it has come to my attention that when I did the recording of this demonstration, yes, I forgot to put on screen share, so it's a half hour of me talking without the demonstration. And I have seen some drafts of um, some of your projects that this can really help. And again, I'm sorry for missing doing a button. This is why I don't love these asynchronous classes, because if I pressed a button wrong in a synchronous class or an in-person class, I'd know right away and fix it. But I'm still fixing it because I want you to do the best you can. And that requires me to give you my best. And I'm working on that. Anyway, to do the page, the first thing, and here comes the screen share. Ta-da. To do the page, the first thing you need to do is set up a page. And you can do this in Microsoft Word or InDesign or any number of software packages. The important thing in this class is to see how to do it and in a way that you can do it across platforms or in any program. Anyway, start off setting up the page, new document, 8.5 by 11. We'll do it in inches, 8.5 by 11, vertical, and columns. You really need the columns on a picture page to help you line up your elements. So let's do that. Ta-da! And the next thing, grids and guides, to show your grids so you know where to put everything. What I have here is a picture page of Joe D'Alessandro, the guy who sells carnivorous plants at the Chattanooga market. First thing you need to do is look at all your pictures and decide what's going to be your dominant art. We have the carnivorous plants. We have Joe with customers. We have a close-up of his little gremlin things. Here's his hands. Here are a nice portrait. Here he is working with customers. Closer view of the portrait. Hands closer with the carnivorous plants, more with customers, and another kind of gestury picture. So we have enough to work with. I think what I'm going to do is start off with this picture. A lot of action shows what he does. A lot of interaction really tells a story. When you have this busy a picture, though, you have to make it big. So I cheated. I sized this picture on Photoshop to fit this size, fit a 6-column format. Here is your picture box, file, place. And it's, I think, what's the number on that one? 6163. File, place, 6163. Ta-da! And there it is. Ready to go. This is the professional way of doing it. So often people mess with the fitting, and I'll show you that once. Too many people do like this, make it fit in the box. Object fit. And see how it squished him up? You do that in this class, and that's 5 points off. Make them normal size. Object fit. fit content to frame. Ta-da! Yeah, it looks a little tall. See, this is what happens when you do this fitting thing. Object. I had it all set up originally. Fit content to frame. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. Then we need room for a caption. And let me pull that in so it sits in the right spot. Okay. Now, when you do a caption, it needs to fit both sides and fit in your frame. Come on. Okay. There it goes. Okay. Now it's a one grid down, put T for text, and we should start typing. Now, you should not have your caption the same font as you do your, or the same typeface as you do your body copy, because then you don't know what's a story and what's a caption and they all run into each other. So I'll make it bigger and bolder. Okay. X, 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 X. Okay, you can write in whatever. And move the box up to fit. Oop, come on. There it is. Okay, grid there, grid down there, and then we put in our story. Oop. Wrong kind of box. Edit. When in doubt, edit cut. Text box. There's our story. Okay. File, place, and our story right there. Ta-da, here's the story. And you notice how it's all one long column. You can't read that. So we have, go here, and here's a box that tells you the number of columns. Let's call it 4 columns. Go to our picker. Yep. And when you have that little red box, that means there's extra copy. It's not fully there, and there it is. It's all in there. Room for a headline. And let me pull that in again. Back to text box. Call it a 36. And call it okay, doesn't quite fit. See, that's why we have that little box there that tells us there's more. Let's knock it down to about a 30. 32 as well. Carnivore. Ta-da, carnivorous. Okay. Now, so much of this is just moving your stuff and tweaking. So, okay, and then we move the story up just a little. Okay, grid here, grid here, grid here, grid here. Everything's lined up, nice and neat. The problem is, what do we fit down there? We have some options. One thing we can do is take our content box and do that. We can move it down to, see, I don't like cutting the guy in the background off. We can bring that up to here, not hurt the picture. Then we can bring this up, and this up. Now we have room for a couple of pictures down below. One way, let's see what we have. That looks like that can fit. 6145. The motion is kind of going here. So let's draw or put it here. And see, this is going to be too long and skinny. This is going to be kind of too short and fat. Well, maybe let's try it. That is 5145, file, place. 5145. Okay. We can, let's see. See, I didn't size it for this at the beginning, so we can do object fit content to frame, and there it is. See, it looks like a little squashed. Give it a little bit more room. Fit content to frame. That's about right. And then I can move the whole thing up to be, again, one grid. Oop. Edit, undo that move. We move the whole box. About one grid up. Object fit. Need to move the box up. Okay, that's why I didn't grab it right. Okay, come on, one more. Okay. Okay, that's good. Let's move up the whole box. Okay. Okay. Close enough, about a box. And now, need to move it up here. Okay. And then, remember, we need another picture that's gonna fit in here. And we also need to have room for a caption. Now, two pictures the same size, the same number, two square pictures together really isn't a good thing. We have a picture, I have a picture of him this way, looking into the frame. So I guess we can put that one in. But it'd be too square here. It's a tall, narrow, vertical picture. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to go back to the page and look at the number of columns. Layout, margins and columns. Let's make them 10 columns. That way, the vertical picture can be like this. Oop. Natural shape. File place. Object fit. There he is. And we can pull it in just a little bit to, again, it needs to line up on our columns to be all nice and neat. And that leaves room for another picture over here and a caption. What other picture can we put in there? See, the hands are a good one. That would fit nicely, but they're going in that direction. In order for that to work, then he needs to go over here. And the hands, and maybe that one goes here. And again, a grid apart. And the hands go, it fits really good. What numbers? Super close. Go back to that. File. To place. File fit, object fit. Let's see, it's a little squished, so I need to fit object to frame. Maybe even a little bit more. Okay, that's about right. The problem here is, what do we do about a caption? Well, you got to find room for a caption, and there's 3 pictures to describe. What we can do is, what we can do is, let's move this down. We don't want to do that anymore. Let's forget the fitting part. Object, let's fit it one more time. Okay. Let's move that down like that. That gives us room to move this up. And this we can move. Let's get our frame like that. And we have room here for a caption. No, wrong. Come on. Oh, I have an extra box. I hate when that happens. Okay, let's grab onto the box we do have. You know what? When this happens, view, zoom in so you can really see where everything is. Nope, made a new box. Let's see, let's grab on the box we got. Grabbing these boxes is an issue. No, we don't need an extra box. Got it that time. Okay. Move it up. Text box. Remember our I have an extra, but when things kind of get screwy like that, it probably means you have an extra box. And here's an extra box. Extra boxes always make a difference here. Anyway, this will happen to you. Okay, here is a whole box. Let me grab it. There it goes. There's where the box should be. T for text. Remember, we made it 14-point bold. And here's our caption. And we like to have a nice grid worth of space. And view, zoom out. And it's not bad. I don't love it, but it follows all the rules, all nicely lined up. But you know, this is not just the only way to do this. I was thinking that there are other, like I said, other ways to do this. Let's make this 4 columns. Fit. See, it's a little squished. And that's a 5-point deduction if it looks squished to fit in. Okay. Now I have, let's make this box Let's make it 2 columns wide. View in. Okay. Now let's make this I hate when this does this. It doesn't automatically return all the time. Okay, make our box about 2 columns wide. Actually, about 1 column wide, because this is now a 10 column layout. So, okay, and then we have that there. Okay. Caption. There's a caption here, and you can leave your white space out there. We can move up the story. With the caption on the side, that gives us that much more room for the story. And what you can do, if you want, you can make the story like that and pull it down till it fits. And go like that. Move this picture up here. Make sure they line up to your columns. There, and then we make a little caption. Here, text box. "14 bold." Okay. See how all of this lines up very nicely. And then we have really, let's see, I like, okay, it's not created. Let's get our pick, pull that off to the side. I like this big and bold. Okay, come on. Let's just redraw that box when it gets messy. Ah, see, I had an extra box. That's why, when in doubt, it's usually a problem with an extra box. Okay. What's the number on the plans? 6145. We don't need this. Okay. File place. One, 4, 5, open. Hello. Let's try that again. Something went wrong with that box. Okay. place. Ta-da, file. Object fit. Looks about right. Okay, what other picture do we have? That looks good. We have him over here. We have a portrait here. What else fits in there? I do like the hands. And that's a square picture. Square picture. File paste. Or place. There's his hands. Object fit. Looks good. Now I can pull this down just a little to make it even. Come on. Object fit. Okay, there's that. We can move it up just a hair, just to even with the other one. So our boxes are nice and even. Even. And now text box for a caption. Okay. Okay. Bold. 14. Now, I'm going to do something here on alignment because sometimes, see that extra space shouldn't be, you can align it this way. So we have white space here, white space there. Let's view, zoom out. Much better layout. You have hands, plants, you have him. I don't love that these are both the same size. If I made that another, let's give this another column. Object fit. Hey, I might have something here. It's a little stretched out. And doesn't really work. Because you can't really, let's pull it down just a hair. Object fit. Let's try fit proportionally. Yeah, see, that's its real size, but it leaves us a funny gap here. Okay. But now we're back to having two pictures the same size. Fit. And that's just too funky. Can't have the hands stretched out that much. What to do, what to do. I suppose, because I really need it to be a longer photo, I could come down a little bit here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Fit. Really need it to be. I'm gonna do fit. Okay, that's about proportional. What I'm gonna do then is come down here, come in here, and here, and then write the caption to one narrow column. Let's just make a one column text box. To 14 point bold. And let's flush left. Oop, box needs to be pulled out just a smidge. And there we go. All our columns lined up. White space on the outside, outside. This caption balances that caption. Dominant art looking that way, that looks that way, that looks that way, he looks that way. Ta-da, we're done. I think this is a stronger layout than the previous one, but this is how you do it. Tedious, you bet, but it works. Anyway, that's how it works. Good luck with it. And